Sure. I think in a couple of minutes I want to basically try to break down this monolith of the American Jewish community. And I think it's important because when people talk about the American Jewish community, they're really not talking about the majority of American Jews. There's no democratic institutions for the American Jewish community. By historical process, certain organizations have grown up, they've become well-funded, they've become famous and received support, but there are no elections for AIPAC or for the Anti-Defamation League, or for an organization like J Street, a much newer organization. But what you do have is you have a relatively small minority of what I would call the activist Jewish community, who dominate these organizations, who care a great deal about Israel, and whose politics generally skews to the right, if not far to the right on occasion. You have a vast majority of American Jews who, while caring about Israel, do not see Israel as the issue that they're taking with them to the ballot booth when they go in November to elect their congressperson, senator, or president. And I think what part of the problem is that the majority, which doesn't drink Israel news with their coffee in the morning, they take their lead from the activist minority, and the activist minority is very concerned. Now, why is that passive, silent majority take its lead? I would say partly because there's a division between the head and the heart, one might say. American Jews, as seen in presidential elections over and over, they are by and large a very liberal community, the most, if not one of the most liberal communities in the United States. The numbers for Barack Obama, I believe, was 78%, and that was after a large scare campaign put on by some right-wing Jewish groups about Barack Obama, his Islamic background, as it were, and his anti-Israel credentials, as it were. But when it comes to Israel, this large majority stops. And I think it's basically based on the idea of when in doubt, do nothing, or when in doubt, tread carefully, or when in doubt, listen to the authorities. And the authorities, the entrenched authorities in the American Jewish community, happen to be right of center, and aligned with the right-wing bloc in Israel. So you have a sort of anxiety that's passed down the ranks from the government in Israel to the activist minority that dominates American Jewish press and politics, down to a liberal majority, but a majority that doesn't think a great deal about Israel on a day-to-day, but hears Israel is endangered. Also, as Americans, they drink in the American history of conflict with Iran. And so the word Islamist and the comparisons that are made pretty much day to day of the fear that Egypt will go in the direction of Iran is a red flag for even those liberal American Jews. And so the natural reaction is, wait, there's a problem. And so while the American Jewish community, even the right-wing segments, gave statements of support for the Arab Spring, and I don't think it's lip service. I think that even right-wing American Jews, they're Democrats, they're aware of how important it is. But I think it stopped there. And I think once those statements of support were out, the next step was, okay, now that we've expressed our support, let's be extremely wary and extremely suspicious and extremely careful.